Hi, I'm Louie Bellson. What you just saw and heard me play is really a composite of some of the basic drum rudiments. You know, this is a fascinating instrument. The drum is one of the earliest, and still today it remains one of the most important instruments of the band and orchestra. Now, during this program, we're going to get into some basic drum rudiments, but before we do, let's get into the proper hand positions. One of the first rules is the selection of a drumstick. This happens to be a 5A drumstick and is probably one of the most popular drumsticks today. Now, we're going to deal with what we call the match grip position because it is the easiest for a beginner. Here is the match grip. Also, we'll learn later on that there is a traditional grip, but right now, let's concentrate on the match grip position. The fulcrum, or the gripping point for the right hand, is between the thumb and the first finger, this way. And you will notice that the grip is 1/3 from the butt end of the stick. I immediately bring the second finger around to meet the thumb, and that is the means of direction, or the guide for that drumstick. The third and fourth fingers, we don't have to worry too much about now, but they are used for loudness, and we will know more about this later on. But the importance is the gripping point 1/3 from the end, between the thumb and the first finger, and the second finger acts as a guide. So we have this position with the right hand. When you look at it from this angle, you will notice that the stick is an elongation of the forearm. It is straight with the forearm. This is the right hand position. For the match grip, we will assume that this left hand is identical to the right hand. So when that happens, we have the perfect match grip position. This is a 5 by 14-inch snare drum, and this is a rubber practice pad. This one is excellent because it fits right on top of the snare drum. Now, in case you don't have a snare drum, there are many variations of practice pads, those that can fit on the table or a chair. Now, the practice pad is very important because it really cuts down on the volume of sound, and I'm sure this will make your family very, very happy. Now, we must learn how to strike the pad or the drum. It's very important that we get our hand positions correct and we relax. The word relax is very, very important. Now, with the right hand, let's make a series of blows on the drum pad to get the agility and the relaxation that we need to just make one blow. Thus, 1. Now, you notice as I strike the drum pad, I bring that stick right back up into position. I do not allow it to press against the drum pad in this manner. It's very important to bring that stick right back up into playing position, therefore getting a very clear sound from the drum pad and the drum. And it's very important, I think, at this point to just keep reiterating, making right hand blows until you get that feeling of relaxation. Then do the same thing with the left hand. And then you eventually put right, left together. Make sure that you strike with the right hand as heavy as you do with the left hand, and make sure that you can hear that sound, that one is not heavier than the other. Also, you notice that as I'm striking the drum head at this position, I get a louder sound. As I come down closer to the pad, I get a more soft sound. So when I'm this close to the pad, I'm actually playing very, very soft. Remember, it's very important that we raise each stick the same height, and it's very important that each beat sound the same. Now, with this very important rule, let's start the first basic rudiment, which is the single stroke or the alternating stroke roll. That means right, left, right, left. Now, we're going to start very slowly. Now, watch the hand positions and listen to the sound. The single stroke or the alternating stroke roll, the first basic primary rudiment. Now, you notice where I'm relaxing, making that blow a very natural, there's nothing stiff about the blow at all. make sure that the right, especially the left hand, is as high as the right hand. There's a tendency sometime to make the right blow a little heavier because the right side seems to be a little stronger. So we should place a little emphasis on that left hand. If you're left-handed, then of course you just have to reverse that position. Now I'm keeping a slow speed because it's very natural for a lot of students to want to progress a little too fast. And when playing drums, especially in the basic lessons, you must have a lot of time and patience. Now we can pick up the tempo a little faster. I am now in what we call the open position, which is very slow, open stroke or alternating stroke roll. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Keep that going. And keep in mind, you can look out of the corner of each eye. You can see how high you're raising those sticks and what kind of sound you can hear from your own ears as to what kind of volume of sound you're producing with the right stick and the left stick. Now, as we get faster, if you feel any kind of tension, stop and start over again, because we don't want to form any bad habits. I'm going to continue on to show you what a closed single stroke or alternating stroke roll sounds like. Now, I'm going to stop and we're going to start all over again. Now, you know what an open stroke roll is and a closed stroke roll. Now, if you want to start with me, let's do it together. Here we go. Let's lead with the right hand. Remember, relax, have patience, watch the stick level, and watch the sound. Here we go. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Keep right on going. Remember all the things that were mentioned before and keep them in mind. Relaxation is very important. You must remember at this early stage we're dealing with a physical instrument, so that's why the relaxation word is so important at all times. Now we're going to pick up the speed a little bit. Listen for the sound of each blow. Make sure each stick is raised the same level. Now we're going to pick up the tempo a little more. Now, if this is comfortable for you, let's just stay here and sort of reiterate all the things that we mentioned before. Each blow should be the same. The height of each stick should be the same. Keep that natural flow. Make that stick come back. Get a good, clear, precise sound. All right, if you feel like you want to go a little faster, fine. If you feel any tension at all, stop. I'll just keep on going to give you the idea what the closed roll is again. That completes the single stroke roll. Now, it's very important not to proceed to a new exercise until you've actually mastered the previous one. Now, that means we must take our time, have plenty of patience. Just really take your time because it's very, very important. Don't progress too fast because otherwise we're going to form some bad habits and we'll run into some problems. Now, rudiment number 2, the double stroke or the long roll is right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Now remember, the single stroke or the alternating stroke was right, left. Now we're going to deal with 2 rights and 2 lefts. Slowly. Here we go. Starting with the right hand. Right, right, left, left. Now, I might mention, it might be a good idea at this point that if a lot of you would like to secure a metronome, you can do so at any major music store. And a metronome at this point might help you keep steady tempo and steady time. If you're having those kind of problems, a metronome can be very helpful. You can set the metronome at certain speed and just keep doing this. The 2 rights and the 2 lefts, just continue. A metronome will keep you locked into a certain time. And this is good because it will teach you a certain discipline that we need for drumming. So the metronome would be a good idea. Now we're still at the open position, which is very slow. Now, as I mentioned before, we had the open and closed single stroke or alternating stroke. Now we're going to have the open or the closed double stroke roll. Make sure that we define these two things. It's very important that we do so. Now, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Now, there may be times when you feel that when you're up to this speed, you're going to feel a little tight, then stop and start all over again. Because I'm going to continue on and show you, at this point, I'm still using two wrist movements. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. Now, as I get a little faster, I'm going into what we call a bounce. Now, a bounce is one hand motion and two sounds as a result. Because when I close that double stroke roll, it has to get down to this point. And that's a closed double stroke or a closed long roll. Now at this point, I'm going to slow it down to show you that I'm still bouncing. That is using one hand motion, but two sounds as a result with each hand. And as I get slower, then I get off the bounce and go back to two distinct movements with the right hand and two with the left hand. Now, let's start that again slowly. And you can play along with me. We're dealing with a double stroke or the long roll, which is two rights and two lefts. Now let's start with the right hand. Right, right, left, left. Now, don't forget, relax. Make sure each stick is raised the same height. Here, we're going to go back to the same rules again. They may sound a little boring, but this is very important at this stage that we get this kind of hand technique because it's going to be very helpful for us in the future. Now we're still using two rights and two lefts. Now at this point, I'm going into the bounce. Don't forget the bounce is one hand motion and two sounds as a result. Now we're getting into the closed position. Closed long roll or closed double stroke roll. Now, if you want to do this with me, I'm going to bring it back down slow again so that we can get the difference between the bounce and back to the two wrist movements. And there we've completed the double stroke or the long roll. Now we're going to concentrate on the third rudiment, the flam. And it's very interesting because the word flam is just like the rudiment is played. When you think of flam, F-L-A-M, the F is the little grace note and the L-A-M is the principal note. So it actually sounds flam, 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 flam. Now, to get to that point, let's start right basic again, very slowly. In order to play a flam correctly, we must have one hand high and one hand low in this position. Now, the left hand, in this case, is the low hand. I would say maybe from 2 to 3 inches off the drum pad. The right hand is maybe about 18 inches higher. So, in order to play the right flam, we must come down at the same time with both hands. Naturally, the left hand is going to strike the drum pad first because it has the shortest distance to go. So, when we do that, both hands now hitting the practice pad. That's the flam. Now you notice also, after I made that flam, my position was reversed. The right hand is low and the left hand is high. Now that's going to take a little doing, so that's why we have to go back to practicing this very, very slow. Left flam, now we're back to the right hand position. You notice at all times there's one hand high and one hand low. There's a right flam, left flam. Hear that sound? Okay, now let's start the flam slowly again, and let's see what kind of speed we can get up to. Right flam, left flam. Make sure one hand is high, one hand is low. And you hear that little click sound, the flam sound. Hear it? Now let's just concentrate on the right flam only. And keep repeating the right flams. Right flam, right flam. Here we're dealing with all right hands high, all left hands low. And get that little flam sound. If you can play that speed, you're doing very well. If not, slow it down. After you've done that, then let's move over to the left flam. Very slow at first. Don't forget, the principal beat is the left hand in this case, and the little grace note or the short beat is the right hand. Practice slowly at first until you get that flam sound. Now, after you've practiced a while with the left hand, now let's put them together like we did at the beginning. Right flam, left flam. Take your time. Make each beat sound the same. Each high stick the same height. Each low stick the same height. Because we want the right flam to be equal to the left flam. Now I'm going to go faster. I'm going to close the flam for you so you'll have an idea what it sounds like. And I'm going to bring it back down to the slow position. Watch closely. Right, left, right, left, right, left, and there you have the complete flam. Now we're going to take up the 5-stroke roll. This is a very interesting rudiment because it is a composite of a single stroke roll and a long roll. I'll explain it further. With the 5-stroke roll is 2 rights, 2 lefts, and an accent on the end. The accent means that blow is to be louder than the others. So here again it's right, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, right, left. So that shows the importance of those first 2 rudiments, that we're now dealing with the other rudiments which are a composite of those first 2 rudiments. Now, the 5-stroke roll, let's try that again slowly and build it into a closed 5-stroke roll. Here we go, starting with the right hand. Right, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, right, left. Keep that pattern going. Now here again, remember the long roll with the bounce? Here we're dealing with the bounce again. And the accent. Make that accent sound the same, the right hand or the left hand. Back down slower again. again. Back down to 2 wrist movements. That's the 5-stroke roll. Now, we can try that again a second time because it's a very important rudiment. And use more time, more patience, and let's try it a little more slowly. Again, right, right, left, left, right. Left, left, right, right, left. Make sure the accent is stronger than the other beats. Take your time. Feel the fluidity going from the right, left, and back to the right. I'm still not into the bounce. Now I'm coming into the bounce. You can hear the difference, and you can see the difference. Hear that accent? The accented beats are stronger than the others. Now I'm into the bounce, and I'm relaxing. Closed 5-stroke roll. Make sure we hear all those beats. Still into the bounce. Now I'm back out of the bounce, back to the hand positions again, and that completes the 5-stroke roll. Now, I would like to play something for you, something that you're going to be familiar with very shortly, and that is when you play in your school bands and orchestras, you're going to hear and play a lot of beautiful marches. Now, I'm going to incorporate not only the 5-stroke roll, but the singles and the flams and the long rolls. All the important 4 rudiments that we've played so far, you'll hear them in this little composition. It's sort of like a little march tempo. And it's reminiscent in some of the basic marches that you will be playing by some of the famous composers and arrangers. So here we go, all 4 rudiments. And there's your 4 rudiments. Now we're going to play our little composition, only much slower this time, and I want you to play along with me. I'll give you an idea what rudiment we're going to play. I'll call it out so it'll be perfectly clear to you. Here we go. Let's pick this tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Flam, flam, flam. Flam, 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 flam. Long roll. 2, 3, 4. Singles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Flam, 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 flam. Long roll. 2, 3, 4. Singles. 2, 3, 4, 1. And now, let's go to the theory side, where we can become very good musicians by learning visually how this all happens. So let's turn to the charts. First of all, a staff is very important because a staff is comprised of 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's a bar line that separates each measure, and you'll see that right in the middle. That's the bar line. Now, for drum set playing, or for drums, we use the bass clef sign. That's the bass clef. It's very important to note that some of the other percussion instruments like vibes, marimba, xylophone, we also employ the use of the treble clef. But here we're going to concentrate solely on the bass clef for drums. The next important topic is note values, and here they are on the chart. All right, we're going to deal with a very common time, which is 4/4, which means 4 beats to the bar. The first note we have is a circle. It's the whole note, and that has 4 counts, like 1, 2, 3, 4. For the half notes, you'll notice the difference. We not only have the circle, but we have a stem. That means with a stem, that note gets 2 counts, and there are 2 half notes that make up 1 whole note. So we're dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4 beats again, but the half note receives 2 counts. Now, let's go down to the quarter note, which looks actually like a half note, only the body is black. So we still have the stem. Each one of those quarter notes have the value of 1 beat. So actually we count 1, 2, 3, 4. And it takes 4 quarter notes to make up 1 whole note, or it takes 2 quarter notes to make 1 half note. So we can understand that valuation. Now we get down to the 8th note. The 8th note, we can either have a flag over the body, or it can be connected by 2 or 3 more 8th notes by a bar over the top. Now each 8th note is valued at half a count. In other words, it takes 2 8th notes to make up 1 quarter note. And if we're going to count that in 4/4 tempo, I will play it along with counting so you get an idea the valuation an 8th note has. In 4/4 tempo, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's 1 bar of 8th notes in 4/4 time. Now we're going to get down to the 16th notes. And you will notice that each 16th note has 2 flags instead of 1 flag. And instead of the flags, you can utilize the bar line, which is a double bar line, to connect 2, 3, 4, or more 16th notes. Now, I will play this exercise also for you in 4/4 tempo. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 eana, 2 eana, 3 eana, 4 eana. That's 1 bar of 4/4 tempo using 16th notes. So there you have the spectrum: whole note, half note, quarter note, 8th note, and 16th notes. And now for that interesting rudiment, the flam, let's move over to the chart and see what it looks like. Okay, you will see a small note, and that's the grace note, right before the principal note. Now the principal note in this case is a quarter note. Now that can be a half note or it can be a whole note. In this case it's a quarter note. Now I want to play that for you. You see the grace note is the little hand motion that we make, which means the left hand is the low hand, and of course the principal note is the high hand, which would be the right hand. So we're going to make a right flam, and here's what it looks and sounds like. Right flam, left flam, right flam, left flam. So there you have the grace note and the principal note to make up the flam. And now we move on to the musical rests. If you'll notice, the whole rest is a little black rectangle that is right below the line. That gives us 4 beats rest. 1, 2, 3, 4 beats of complete silence. The half rest is that same little black rectangle which is on top of the line, and that gives us 2 beats rest. 1, 2, or 3, 4. 2 beats rest. The quarter note rest looks like a little lightning mark, and there we have 1 count rest. 1, 2, 3, 4 counts of silence. The 8th note rest looks like a little 7, and that receives 1/2 count rest. So we're dealing with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all rests. And now for a very important part of music, dynamics. Let's turn to the chart. First of all, you see the P, which means soft or piano. The M, F, is medium or mezzo forte. The F is loud or forte. And there you have three very important dynamics that can be used not only in music but drumming or anything else. And now let's go to the chart for the time signatures. First of all, you will note that we've included the treble clef there to give you an idea what it looks like. Now, you've already had the bass clef, but this is what the treble clef looks like. Now, the basic time signature 4/4. The top number indicates the amount of beats in each bar. The bottom number indicates what kind of note receives that count. So in 4/4 time, you have 4 counts to the bar, and each one of those beats is a quarter note. Moving on to 3/4 time, you have 3 beats to the bar, and each one of those beats is a quarter note. So it's 3/4. In 2/4 is 2 beats to the bar, and each beat is a quarter note. Now in 6/8, you have 6 beats to the bar, and each one of those beats is an eighth note. Now the C on the end is common time, which is exactly the same as 4/4, the first one. Now, to give you an idea of each one of these, I'm going to play something, first of all, in 4/4. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. In 2/4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. In 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And of course, the common time is exactly the same as the first one, which is a 4/4, and that would be counted the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have the time signatures. And now finally, let's move back to the staff and check the note that is written for the snare drum parts. If you will notice, the third space from the bottom, that's where we have our note. That's actually the standard notation for snare drum writing. Now you'll find out later on that that can be moved to the top space and so forth, but it is standard right now that we concentrate on the third space from the bottom. That's where our snare drum notation is. Now that we've had some basic theory, let's apply it to some sight reading exercises. First of all, we'll use alternating sticking, right, left, right, left. In fact, we'll start each bar with the right hand. Some of the observations. Look at the left-hand corner for the time signature, first of all, and then the dynamic marking. In this case, it's 4/4 time and mezzo forte dynamic marking. Okay, we're going to play this exercise 3 times. The first time, I will count and play alone. The second time, I'll have you play along with me when I'm counting. The third time, I will count but not play, but you will do all the playing. So here we go. The first time, the first exercise in 4/4 in medium volume. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the second time through, I'll have you play along with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the third time I will count and not play, but you will do the playing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. This second exercise is in 4/4 tempo, but observe the dynamic level. It's 1P, piano, which means soft. So here we go, 3 times. Here's the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, second time, you play along with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Third time, I will count, you play alone. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have a very interesting exercise. We're still in 4/4 time, but the dynamic level is different for every measure. The first bar, we're in mezzo forte. Second bar is piano. Third bar is forte. And the fourth bar is back to piano. So here we go, the 3 times. Here's the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Second time, play along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Third time, you play and I'll count. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. This time we are in 3/4 time, 3/4, and all the 4 bars are forte, which means loud. So here we go, 3 times. This is the first time. 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and a 2 and 3. Second time, you play along with me. Here we go. 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and a 2 and 3. Third time, I count, you play alone. Here we go. 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and a 2 and 3. Now, for all these exercises, go over them time and time again. Take your time, have plenty of patience, familiarize yourself with each one of them, and make sure the dynamic level is right, the time signature is right, and the sticking is right. Now it's time to work on the full set of drums. For those of you who do not have a set of drums, you can improvise at home by using chairs. Let me identify each one of these instruments at this time. First of all, the bass drum. Next, the large tom-tom. The small tom-tom. And last, the snare drum. And now we come to the cymbals. This large cymbal in front of me is a 20-inch ride cymbal. And here's one of the basic patterns. The cymbal to my left is a crash cymbal. And these cymbals over here to my left are the hi-hat cymbals. Now we're going to coordinate all 4 rhythms. The right hand, right foot, and the left foot. First of all, here's the basic beat with the right foot on the bass drum. Take your time, play easy. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on the second and fourth beats, we're going to add the left foot, the hi-hat rhythm, on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with the right hand on the big right cymbal, we'll play 4 quarter notes to the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on 2 and 4, the left hand, same as a hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's all 4 rhythms going on. Just keep playing that over and over again for coordination. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Making sure you get the right feel. Keep playing it. Familiarize yourself with the feel. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we've established that basic rhythm. Now for the contemporary rhythms or the rock rhythms, we must know that we're going to deal with 8th note feel. The difference between the jazz feel and the rock feel is that the rock feel is an 8th note feel and the jazz feel is more of a rolling triplet feel. So now for a basic rock or contemporary rhythm, let's go back with the big cymbal, back to the rhythm on the bass drum and the hi-hat and the left hand. With the bass drum, we'll still continue our 1 and 3 pattern and 2 and 4 over here with the left foot. But up here with the right hand, we will play 8 8th notes to every measure and strict 8th note feel with a 2 and 4 on the left hand like the hi-hat. So here we go. The tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now you can move the right hand over here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's a basic rock or contemporary pattern. Now, for the jazz beat, don't forget, we're going to get involved in a rolling triplet feel. Now, we'll still continue the bass drum the same way on 1 and 3, the hi-hat foot cymbal on 2 and 4, and play a straight beat with the right hand, 2 and 4 over here. But to give you that triplet feel, I'll show you what we'll do with the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can add the bass drum on all feet, 4 beats if we want. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And make that pattern swing. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. There you have 2 of the very basic fundamental rhythms. Now comes the fun part of this program. You and I are going to get a chance to play together, to improvise, to create. And that's really what it's all about when it comes to drum set playing. The creativity and the improvisation is so important. What we're going to do, I'm going to lay down a rhythm pattern for 2 bars on the hi-hat cymbals. Then I'm going to play a solo for 2 bars. After my initial first 2-bar solo, when I go to the hi-hat rhythm to play for 2 bars, that's your chance to play a solo for 2 bars. Then I play a solo for 2 bars. When I revert back to the time on the hi-hat, that's your turn to play a solo. So here's what it's going to sound like. Here we go. Imitate my solos. Don't forget, you can imitate my playing, but also at one point you must play your own creativity, your own improvisation. That's very important. Also, let's retrack a little bit. Patience, a lot of time on one exercise before going to another exercise. Make sure that you have plenty of time to do this. It's very important. Don't try to progress too fast because you'll find a lot of problems. And one other very important point. You can practice by turning off the sound without hearing the words that I have to say. You can just go by the actions. That's another very important thing. One of the last things I want to mention is I would like to thank my very good friend and a great drummer, Mr. Charlie Perry, who is so advanced in the educational field. And I want to thank him for